Hi guys, I'm very sure by now you know who this lady is. This is Prudent, very close to Vicky James, and she wore this beautiful cape to Vicky James' wedding. In this tutorial, I'm going to be showing you how I made mine, and I added a little bit of tweet to it. You can see that mine went upward more than hers, so it all depends on how you want to achieve your own cape. If this is what you're interested in learning, please keep on watching and let's get started. The only thing I'm not going to be doing here is beading on this cape, okay? So I'm just showing you guys how to cut and sew this for the sake of tutorial. Now I have my pattern paper, and the first thing I'm going to do is come down by 4 inches. Now after coming down by these 4 inches, I'm going to mark out a horizontal line, so this becomes my starting point. Now after this, I'm going to place my tape and mark down to the length of the cape that I want. So I marked down 13 inches. This is including the hemming allowance, and I'm also going to draw it into a horizontal line. Now after this, I'm going to go ahead and divide my shoulder into 2. Okay, first of all, I'm using the measurement of my mannequin, so the actual shoulder measurement is 14 inches. Now because this is a cape, you can see the way it's extended to one arm to the other, so I added extra 5 inches, making it 19 inches. Now this 19 divided by 2, I'm going to, from the center fold, mark it inward and add half an inch for stitching allowance. I hope you guys are understanding me. Now after this, I'm going to mark out my neck width and the neck depth. Now because I'm drafting out both the front and the back, I'm going to mark the back neck width and the depth first of all, so I made use of 3 by 1 inches, and then for the front neck depth, I'm using 3 inches as well. So after this, I'm going to connect the points using my curve, as you can see me doing like this. Now after this guys, I'm going to move over to the lengths and then also mark out the shoulder divided by 2. Okay, so I'm going to, from the center fold, take it inward. So what I marked out there was my shoulder divided by 2 plus half an inch for stitching allowance. Okay, now after this, I'm going to now mark out my actual shoulder measurement divided by 2, which is 7. Remember, this is measurement of my mannequin, so whatever measurements you have for yours, go ahead and make use of that. Now after that, I'm going to come over to these points, go up by 3 inches. I'm going up by 3 inches simply because I want the pointy part of mine to be higher than the inspo. Now if you want it to look like Prudentials, go ahead and make use of just 2 inches. I think that is enough. Okay, but because I wanted to add a little bit of tweet to mine, I went up by 3 inches and then connected it to the actual shoulder measurement divided by 2. Now after this, I'm going to determine how deep I want my sweetheart neckline to look. So from the shoulder point, okay, which is the starting point, I went down by 7 inches, and then I'm going to go ahead and connect my sweetheart neckline just like this. Okay, so go ahead and freehand it, curve it out however you want it to look, and connect it to this end. Can you see? So now after this, I'm going to go ahead and cut out my pattern. So guys, I am done cutting out my pattern. Remember that this pattern is for both the front and the back. So I'm going to fold my fabric into 2, and then first of all, I'm going to cut out the back. So you can see I've already cut out the back neckline, which I'm going to use to cut out the back right now. And for this back, I'm going to be adding a zipper allowance. If you don't want to add up any form of zipper allowance, that means you should be using a hook on this or a loop, whatever it is that you want to use. That means you're not going to be adding any form of zipper allowance. Okay, so you can see what I am doing right now. I also added half an inch to the upper parts. Okay, that would serve as my neckline turning allowance. Now after this, I'm going to go ahead and equally cut out exactly what I have on the pattern. You can see what I'm doing anyways. It is very simple, you guys. Just follow what I'm doing and yours shall come out perfectly well. Okay, Now after this, guys, you can see I have my back block. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and notch the zipper allowance and then open up the allowance because I need to have 2 pieces for the back. I hope you guys understand. Now after this, I'm going to go ahead and cut out the front neck depths. Can you see? And then I'm going to use this to cut out my front piece. So you can see I folded my fabric into 2. I will ensure that the center of my pattern is touching the center of my folded fabric. And then go ahead and cut out the neckline at first. So once I get to the shoulder, I'm going to add up shoulder stitching allowance. The only difference between the front and the back right here is the zipper allowance. And please remember, if you don't want to use a zipper, that means you're going to be using a hook or whatever it is that you want. Okay, so I am done. Now I went ahead to add up my fusible interfacing. You guys, I would advise you make use of a peplum gum or any other hard gum that you can lay your hand on. You can also make use of crinoline mesh to do this. Now I'm going to face the right side facing each other and then join the neckline. As you can see, also join the side. I am done. Now I'm going to go ahead and notch it. Please ensure that you notch and also ensure that you trim off, if possible, the excess allowance a little. Okay, so you can also see that all those pointy parts, I'm trying to cut it off so that by the time I turn this over, it will stay flat. Okay, so guys, after this, I went ahead to join the neckline. So you can see what I am doing. Place it, match it up shoulder to shoulder, and then the zipper allowance to the zipper allowance, and then join the shoulder. After that, go ahead and join the hemline. Okay, now after joining all this, the only place that is going to be left open is the zipper allowance, and that is where you're going to turn this out from. So I'll move over to my sewing machine and stitch this, and if I'm stitching, I'm going to be using just 1/2 inch. Okay, so now I am done stitching it. You can see I'm also trying to notch. Please, notching is very important, and you want to cut off every pointy parts on this. Okay, so you guys, I'm trying to turn it out from my zipper allowance. I am done turning it out. Next thing I want to do is use any form of pointy object to bring out the pointy areas very well, as you can see. So next thing I'm going to go do is give this a good press. Okay, so you can see I'm trying to arrange it, and you guys can also see that the only place that is left open right now is the zipper allowance. Now I'm going to go give this a good press, arrange it properly, you can see, and then I'm going to equally go ahead and join my zipper allowance. You guys, this is very simple, as you can see. So I'll hold my zipper allowance, join it, place it on the mannequin so that you guys can see the final look of this cape. All right, you can go ahead and bead yours however you want. You can see the tweet I added. The shoulder area is pointy more than that of Prudential, so however it is, if you want your sweater neckline to also come down properly, you go ahead and do that. All right, I just hope this tutorial was helpful. Please share it so that more people can get to see it. And here is what the back looks like. I'll see you guys in my next tutorial. Bye.